that's just my opening thoughts, and I just want to thank Joe Visconti for joining us. It's interesting because, of course, the left, it's the oldest cop in the book. Okay. Let's try to tie the Republicans with these Nazis and so forth. It's quite a stretch. I don't think anyone believes it, but
we're on also Facebook Live, and everybody out there
shout out to Facebook Live
who's been with me since '09 in Connecticut and the Tea Party.
Yes.
When we lost the presidency, the House, and the Senate in Washington, we did what the left is doing. But we didn't do violence.
Okay.
I mean, I held rally after rally, and others in our group held rally after rally in New Haven, all over the state. You all watched it on TV.
Yeah.
Never would we even consider hate or violence.
No, peace on the ground.
Not even if you could get away with it. Who would consider that? So they're acting out on the street, the left, because they have no political power.
Yeah.
And they've been infiltrated by paid protesters that are violent. And I think, contrary to what you said, that it's going to end, I don't think it'll end. It'll probably end up becoming more peaceful. But the problem for the left is they are so filled with hate that they don't know how to do a peaceful protest.
Yeah, well, that's the other side of it.
That's
the other side of it, and I think a little bit that's what the president was trying to say on his second statement, was to say, okay, first thing, the lay of the land was that there was an initial protest about taking down the Robert E. Lee statue in this park in Chancellorsville. Then the Nazis and the KKK came in and kind of hijacked that cause. And then you had the Antifa.
The Antifa. The truth is, I mean, the left wants, and the media wants Trump to say every 5 minutes, I'm against KKK, I'm not a racist. On the right, as Republicans and conservatives, we have to walk around with this huge disclaimer like we do in attribution. Joe Visconti approved this message. Yeah. I am not a racist, I am not. Why do we have to preempt every statement we make to defend ourselves that we're not something? You can't prove a negative. The fact is that Democrats have lost complete political power in America.
It is true.
And
I mean, this is what it sounds like to be
they're about to lose
irrelevant.
the rest of it in Connecticut.
Yeah.
After the budget that's going to be coming out in the next week or two.
Yeah.
So their policies have failed. I mean, it's a simple matter of fact. You know, there's the old yin and yang of politics, left and right.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens. It's their twilight time, and they're finished in America, and they're going to be finished in Connecticut. In America, it's worse for them. I mean, their fundraising is off so bad. I would feel bad for them, except for you got to finish them off. These people, they're like one of those horror movies that just come back.
But shout out to all my liberal Democratic friends. Could we go back to like Russia? That seems to hold a lot more weight. Except, this just in. He's selling defensive weaponry to the Ukraine. That's something Barack Obama refused to do. So if he's a puppet of Russia, why is he selling weapons to the Ukrainian nation that's right on the border of Russia? This just in, Syria's Air Force was degraded by 25% because he sent in 39 cruise missiles. And they shot down a Syrian jet. The Syrian, of course, is a client state of Russia. But of course, he's colluded with Russia, and he's in Russia's hip pocket. So I don't know. The racism. Maybe we should go Russia. Maybe we should just go back to war on women or something like that. Because one of these has got to stick. Because people really don't read and watch the news and think for themselves.
Get this on a national level, I think the biggest problem is the administration can't get the people in place that they need. Justice Department can't appoint people. The vetting process, the Democrats are stonewalling. So for the country, we need people in government. Probably 10,000 people have to be appointed yet and put in positions, and they're not. All of this nonsense in the defense and the leaks, it's stalling. And the Democrats are trying to do this, either sue on an issue or stall or throw the race card, the Russia card. So all of this is not helpful for the country, and everyone on the left should realize, you know what, it's time we keep the country moving, and they don't care.
I personally am counting the days till I can vote for him for his second term. I can't wait. I love how he takes on the mainstream media. I love how he's now politically correct, and I just want more than anything for him to have his agenda passed, including repealing Obamacare, getting a tax reform done, getting a handle on our immigration system. I already appreciate what he's done with the VA. I appreciate Gorsuch, our new Supreme Court justice. We've already seen a 70% drop in illegal immigration as well. The economy is growing at 2.6%, something Obama never even got near to, and we haven't even gotten started. Joe Visconti is running for governor of the state of Connecticut. Do you have a question?
It's a good thing to remember where we've come from so we don't repeat ourselves. But in fact, the Democrats and their policies continue to perpetuate racism. For example, Planned Parenthood. The purpose of Planned Parenthood is to eliminate the black race. That's what Margaret Sanger said. Does anybody ever bring that up? No. The Democrats perpetuate racism everywhere they turn.
That's true. The inner cities, they have the media and academia with them. Mm-hmm. And so you don't get to hear, you have to hear from right-wing Republicans and conservatives, and it sounds like it's crazy talk as we say these things. And it's because of the conditioning of academia, media, it just won't get covered. And that's not going to change. So it ends up becoming something, I think, that what happened under Trump is that we all got angry at the fact that the truth wasn't out about what the Democrats have done to our inner cities, to the African Americans, to the prisons, young black men in prisons, and these are the cities that they control, like Harvard that's going bankrupt. And so people were angry, not necessarily at race or even Democrats, it's just the lies and why can't the truth be out? And that's, I think, built up over 8 years with Obama, where every lie you can keep your doctor, and everything he did was just whitewashed, sanitized, and we knew it was wrong. We had to swallow and swallow, and it built up into an emotional. This was a person you fed up with divorce or something. You're just fed up.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm doing this, and so America just got really angry at the cover that the Democrats had gotten, and that the media gave them, the lies, the polling, as we all saw. So all that led to where we are. Now they've just blown a gasket, as I'm telling you. They've blown a gasket because they spent over $2 billion with the media buy. You're probably at a $4 billion race against Trump.
Yeah.
And it failed. Every organization, Planned Parenthood, Black Panthers, every subgroup, were all funded, and they all failed. So what do you do now whenever you played your whole hand and you lost? The Democrats are in the problem. And here's the other thing. The left should, at this point, be productive like we were against Obama. We wanted to hold his feet to the fire and everything did, and we took the House over in 10, and 12 we took the Senate over, and then we took the presidency. They need to get their act together if they want to correct anything they think Trump or the right is doing. So they're not even doing justice to the system of checks and balances. I just thinking we were all there on election night.
Yeah, I mean, that was like
you
the
and I
funnest
drinking
night of my
there
life.
all night long.
We-
From 6 o'clock in the evening till 4 in the morning was like, what, an hour?
I know.
We just stood up for 8-9 hours just flipping out.
To the vast viewing audience, Joe Visconti and I had the absolute pleasure of being down at the New York Hilton Hotel down in Manhattan on election night.
Right there in front of Trump.
Yeah, it was right there.
With everybody who's anybody. Giuliani, Ann Coulter, Milo, everybody was just, it was just one big, and we knew that he would win. We intrinsically knew because we had 8 years of just being under this thing. I never had a doubt. They didn't see it coming on the left right across town.
Oh, yeah.
And so what's happened is it's a psychological problem, I think. And they need to get over it. The left has to, so they can be, I'll say it again, even though it's horrible to say, they need to be productive in their checks and balances against anything they think, because more and more they're going to make themselves into a ridiculous movement. They're not a party anymore, they're a ridiculous movement. And after spending 8 years on the street with Tea Party, I know 8 years of protesting.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
News.
You're old enough to remember the CBS Evening News during the 60s.
Oh, yeah, Walter
the body
Cronkite,
count
that's
every
the way
night
it
at
is.
dinner.
Yeah,
So many men died and wounded casualties in Vietnam. Over and over and over, they kept the narrative going and pushing and pushing. Even though it was true, the way they packaged it was totally against Nixon, who was ending the war, and that's what they're doing here.
Margaret Sanger deliberately tried to recruit black ministers to try and encourage black women to have abortions. They deliberately put abortion clinics in poor black neighborhoods because they wanted to eliminate the black race. That's a fact.
Margaret Sanger said that she wanted to exterminate the Negro race, and that she was going to use her organization as she founded it to do so.
You got to follow me on Facebook, play-by-play as that went down. First of all, how could Joe A, I call him, how could he even be the Speaker of the House, setting the agenda with the union vote, being a union member, being paid? It's just so unethical. How it got blessed by the ethics
Yeah,
commission.
just break that down for the vast viewing audience. We have a head of a public union who is heading up the legislative government of the state of Connecticut.
And he's blocking, he's the Speaker of the House, so he would not allow the Republican, because he could set the agenda, he would not allow the Republican budget to even be presented, to be spoken about and debated about. So you have a union member blocking a Republican, so right out of the gate to the college question, beyond the way it was presented, it was completely rigged. The government unions own the Democrat Party. And right now, the Democrats are split with us in the Senate, but Nancy Wyman, the lieutenant governor, broke the tie.
And sided with the dark side.
Sided with the Democrats,
Yeah.
with the unions. And the union deal, we could have got much more. We should have gotten what we needed, or much more, based on where we are financially, fiscally. And if you all remember the 2014 debates with me, Tom Foley, and the governor,
Yeah.
I call
Well,
exactly
there it
what's
is. Here you go.
happening.
Yeah, this was Tom
And-
Foley in our debate.
Yeah.
He showed up as the rubber chicken, and that was about it.
The
So,
point
okay,
was,
you know
this was all foreseeable 4 years ago. I mean, I was just using data from the Office of Fiscal Analysis, but no one during the run wanted to talk about it. Now everyone's pretending there's deficits. We have 20 billion in deficits coming in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
This doesn't stop. We bleed out. And what they just did is they guaranteed us to bleed out. So you're going to have tax increase, whether it's sales tax, whether they expand the sales tax to services and products that they don't cover now,
Yeah.
to income tax, to no matter what, they're just going to do a 3-card Monte to Democrats. And every year they're going to try to say it's over. So you'll have the media covering for them, especially the Connecticut Mirror, covering for the Democrat Party right now for the election. But these deficits are going to continue next year. Just the year we're in is growing up, probably 100 million every 2 months. And they're covering it. But it's all knowable. And so having Joe in the union contract, again, we need to downsize. We need to reduce from 52,000 state workers down to 35,000. And we need to do it over a certain period of time. We
can
have
do
to
it
run
through
government.
attrition too, right?
We can do attrition. 40% of the union workers will be retired by 2022.
Yeah.
So, but this gave them an extension and a way to stay in there. They're letting everybody max out and clock out. The unions are running the state of Connecticut, the government unions, not the private unions, and that would be okay if we were flush. We're not flush. We're not going to be flush. So if you know that, why you still installing granite countertops in your house, you just lost your job.
Yeah.
Go to Formica or just do what you got to do. So we just keep spending. The Democrats right now we need to pick up probably one more Senate seat to be able to knock out the lieutenant governor if that happens again. And we have 6 seats in the House that we can pick up. The Republicans can then control it. They had a great plan. The budget, which Joe A., the union member who's the Speaker of the House, would not allow the Republican plan. People have to understand this at home. We have a budget with no tax increases, and it could not get to the floor to be debated, never mind voted on, because the union member, who is the Speaker of the House, would not allow it.
Right.
And so the public unions, that's from the teachers union, public works, cops, I don't care who it is, they're all one big, what I call them, they're protected class.
Yeah.
And so we're done. We're finished in Connecticut. We don't come back. Every year for the next 8 years, we'll have tax increases.
Okay,
I can't see a
let's
way
just-
as
let's
governor
just talk-
not
let's
to. I want to tell you something. This is a statement I'm making. I've made it publicly. I can't see a way not to raise taxes as your governor, based on what they just did to us.
Yeah.
They made it almost impossible.
Well,
I'm running to be a
yeah.
Republican nominee, and I already stated that publicly when I announced.
Uh-huh.
But if, and I'll say this, but if, we're considering right now whether we want to actually go out unaffiliated, it's January 1st, and start getting signatures in case they put Themis, who's our majority leader, or Dr. Praz, I think you've had him on the show. Any gun grabber, I'm not going to allow them to be governor. I made that statement on Facebook. Any candidate who voted for the gun bill isn't going to be able to be governor. I won't allow that. Well, anyway, the thing for us is we got a big field. We had a lot of great candidates. Mark Boughton, Peter Lumage, Mark Loretti, Shelton. I know all the guys. They're all great people. We have a couple that are good, but they were gun grabbers, and I'm trying to run blocker for them Because what can happen in the 3 or 4-way primary next year, I'll be in. I'll force myself into the Republican ballot. They can't stop me.
Yeah.
I won't even do the convention.
You're the skunk
I
at
don't
the
need
garden
it.
party. No one can get rid of
But
you.
you know, but I haven't been attacking anybody. But what'll happen is Dr. Prost, I can never pronounce his last name. I'm sorry. I'm bad at that. He actually has the money right now, and we're hearing he can recruit probably 30,000 people into a primary and pull off a 3 or 4-way. So we would have a gun grabber in there. I'm sorry. I worked too hard for the Second Amendment. So we got a couple people I'm a little upset with that may be in for the gun bill. People say that's not important. Did you see what's on the streets in Antifa? The gun bill and the gun rights are more important now than they ever will. So beyond that, that's it.
Thank you for coming in.
Thanks
I
for
really
having
appreciate it. Thanks for wearing the white jacket.
Yeah.
Next time I need to call, okay? I didn't get
Great
the call.
mind,
You guys
and you have a
left me out
good.
again.
You have a good time. Give him hell on the Bitcoin.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.